Speaking of the Cavs, Jalen Tyson had a hell of a game last night. We'll talk about him in the TV show coming up at 12:30. But we did a little exercise yesterday, guys, that we're going to play Happy Face, Sad Face with, which is why you have them in front of you. I asked you guys to send me 3 qualities you think an NBA championship caliber team has to have in today's NBA, and I compiled a list.
And Mike trusts me so little, he made me go upstairs and follow him to answer the questions yesterday.
I called
physically have you.
I called G in the morning. I got all the answers.
He called me yesterday in the morning.
Yep, and I called G right after. This was essentially, I changed the wording on a few because a lot of them were similar but just phrased different. But in conclusion, the 6 big things we as a group determined you need to have to win at the highest level in today's NBA was 3-point shooting, at least 2 superstars, be able to get stops when needed, multiple versatile wings, multiple shot creators, and elite offensive head coach. So if you guys could be so kind to pick up your faces, we're going to run down that list and figure out if the Cavs meet this criteria. The first one was 3-point shooting. Do the Cavs have enough 3-point shooting to meet your criteria to win at the highest of high levels in today's NBA? Jay says no. Jason and G say... G says yes.
No fence riding here.
And Jason
I'm
says...
I'm on the fence on this.
I know you are. I could tell by your...
Because they have... I'm going to say yes, they do.
Can I ask a question then to follow up with that?
Yeah.
Isn't it a 3-point shooting league?
It is.
Then why have they not had success?
Because Georges Niang is much better than what he showed in the playoffs. Mike, agree?
And I would say throw
he was
Strus in there
unplayable
too.
in the playoffs.
But he's a better player than what he showed. Darius Garland is a better player than what he showed.
I agree.
So I think if you want to go recency bias of how they played in the postseason this year, which, okay, that's fair because that's at the highest stage, that's what they performed.
Right.
It was still better than what it was the year before. I think that I'm going to say yes, that they had enough. They just didn't have guys play to their expectation. And if that happens again, then you have to question their makeup and are
Gee,
they
I'm surprised
built
you
for the
say
moment.
yes.
I think Georges Niang can shoot. I think Max Strus can shoot. I don't think Max Strus is a starter, but in certain circumstances, coming off the bench, I think he's a good shooter. I think Sam Merrill can shoot. He was hot at the beginning of the season, kind of, trailed off. I think, to be honest, Dean Wade can shoot the ball. He just was injured, not really active at the end of the year. So for me, those guys can shoot. Where gives me a little bit of pause is Darius Garland. Now, he's a better shooter when it just seems like he has the rock in his hands and he can move around and do things and have the autonomy to either I'm going to pull up from here or I'm off the dribble, I'm going to shoot. Where I think he struggled a little bit last year was he was not particularly a good spot-up shooter. And to play with Donovan Mitchell, that's one of the things that you're going to have to do. One of those guys is going to have to be off the ball. You got to be a really good catching shooter. I will say that I don't think their offense was conducive to him catching and shooting with JB the way he ran it. I think if they ran some more, some different sets and had him be in different parts of the floor with Kenny Atkinson, I think he could become a better 3-point shooter. But I was borderline on it. But I do think they traditionally, if you look at their traditional splits, they have some shooting. They got enough 3-point shooting.
Mike, you can clinch this that I'm completely wrong here.
I don't know that you are completely wrong. I don't know that you're completely wrong.
I was on the fence. It wasn't like I was head over heels.
I gave it a second to think about it. It's interesting to hear you say it. All these guys can shoot.
Yeah.
Everybody in the NBA can shoot for the most part. The question is, do you shoot well? And to do that, I don't mean you had a game where you were 7 of 8 from 3. I mean, what does your back of the card stats say at the end of the year? That, to me, is the answer to can you shoot?
Okay, I'll give you this. They are streaky shooters.
Yeah.
They are. I've seen Dean Wade get hot. I've seen Max Strus get hot.
Well, look at January. The month of January.
I've seen Sam Merrill not miss. They are very. Even Donovan Mitchell, he's a streaky shooter. He can get hot and hit 3-4 in a row. I just think they're more streaky than
they were 13th in the league in 3-point shooting. That's not good enough.
Yeah, and to me, when we're talking about that, you're going to go right to that number, and that's middle of the pack.
And that's why you could easily say no, they don't have enough. I tend to think that they had guys that are better than what they showed
because of being out of position, like Strus.
Yeah, and
maybe
just having having a
Wade.
bad year, and now you got a little bit more of an offensive-minded coach. That's why I think it's 51-49. Which way you want to go, which way you want to answer it. If you look at the numbers, 13th is not good enough. 32%, that's not good enough to win a
Where were the
championship.
Celtics?
Top 10, top 5.
For sure, top 10. I'll look it up right now.
I
think
would
top
say
five.
Top 5. I would think top 5. Mike, what say you? Are they a good? Do they have enough shooting?
Do they have enough shooting? Yes. I'm right in line with Jason. If you wanted to go no, I would totally hear that argument. If you wanted to go yes, I would totally hear that argument.
Okay.
My issue is, do they have enough shooters? Yes. Can they play all those shooters at the same time, and are they willing to play those shooters at the same time? Or are they going to be stuck playing multiple non-shooters at once? And then if they are doing that, is there enough shooting on the floor? Not on the roster. There's enough shooting on the roster. Can you get that shooting on the floor? That's the question. That has to be on.
I think that's well said. The other thing too is when you take a categoric shooter like
Boston was second in the NBA in threes.
Okay.
OKC first.
Yeah.
Are you
OKC
going percentage or made?
Probably percentage.
What do you want? Makes?
I would go with percentage because to me,
Boston was first in makes per game by 2 threes over anyone else.
So they were first in made and second in percentage.
By 0.1% below Oklahoma City.
Right. It's clearly a shooter's league. To the point of frustration to many fans. To me, I miss some of the fundamental things that have been washed out of the game because of the importance of the three today. I will say this, Mike. There are some guys that are pure shooters. And when you put them in the game, yes, now you have a shooter on the floor. But the question is, and this is the math that every franchise has to do, it's a plus-minus equation. What you gain in having that shooter on the floor has to outweigh what you lose in having a lack of a defender or a lack of a ball handler or a lack of a guy that can, quite frankly, do anything else. Because if that was the case, you'd have 10,000 guys that currently aren't in the NBA that could be because they can stand behind the three-point line and just make. But there's more to it than that. And so it's the equivalent of a baseball player. He can hit a fastball all day long, but he can't hit the off-speed stuff. Well, he's not a big leaguer then.
Yeah.
And so I just want a guy who can shoot and can bring something else to the party.
That's why 3-and-D guys, the most valuable commodity in the NBA today. We got 5 more traits that we identified. Let's make sure we get through those before we welcome Wayne Randazzo on in about 10 minutes. Multiple superstars, at least 2. Do the Cavs currently have multiple superstars? Jay says yes. Jason says no. G says no. Jay, you're the lone yes here.
Yeah, I like to be the dissenting voice, apparently. Here's how I would make that argument. And I know that we're all killing the Cavs and the fact that Darius Garland is a max player.
Right.
He's not a max player. And he's not even the guy I'm going to say is the second superstar. It's clearly, we know who the superstar is on this team. It's Donovan Mitchell. As critical as I have been of Evan Mobley fits my criteria for a superstar. And here's why. The things that he's been able to master in the NBA so far at a very young and early age in his career tell me that his arc is superstar directional. It's going to that area. Is he quite the superstar yet? Maybe not. But when I bring up trading him, you know what I hear? Where did you leave your brain? I've heard it from you.
Yeah.
I've heard it from Mikey. I've heard it from viewers. I hear it from fans that I just run into on the street. They ask me to justify the notion that I want to trade Evan Mobley. And the argument that I give is, if you have 8 pieces to a puzzle, and the puzzle piece, or the puzzle has 8 pieces to it, it doesn't mean you can complete the puzzle. You might have pieces that don't click into place. And Evan Mobley may be that guy. And the reason I say that is because in January when he was out, we saw Jarrett Allen blossom into a guy that we'd hoped Evan Mobley could become. And Jarrett Allen was becoming that guy right in front of us. So sometimes the sum doesn't equal, what does that say?
parts.
The whole of the parts. I think that Evan Mobley is a superstar by the sheer fact that everybody in the basketball world thinks I'm crazy when I mention trading him. So I do think he is a superstar. And I think we've got the pieces are here. It's now up to the new coaching staff and Atkinson and everybody else to piece them together.
All right. So would you guys classify Scotty Barnes as a superstar?
I do not.
No.
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, go ahead.
To this point, Scotty Barnes has had, I would say, a better body of work than Evan Mobley. Now, the one rebuttal to that is he plays on a team in the Raptors where he's going to get a lot more.
Somebody's got to get those points.
He's going to have
it's
more
like
opportunity.
Kevin Love in Minnesota.
To me, I look at Evan Mobley. Does he have? And a lot of times people say, why would you want to trade him? The potential is there. So it's just like having, you got a lottery ticket, right?
Yeah.
If I'm going to keep the lottery ticket because it might turn into multi-millions. It's like having, we just talked about rookie cards, right? Evan Mobley is one of those dudes that if you got his rookie card, you're like, hold on. Do I want to keep this or do I want to keep Cade Cunningham's card?
No, you're keeping
You're keeping it Evan Mobley because, to your point, he's already doing something that a lot of people don't do.
So
and
you're
that's play
making the
defense.
case that he is a superstar.
I wouldn't give him a superstar status yet. If he gives me one more thing, to me, a superstar has to be able to do three things, right? You got to have three skills that transcend a lot of different things. He already has a couple of them. Defense. I like the fact that he plays defense on the ball, off the ball. He can block shots. He has two other good traits, and they can get there. Like, I think he doesn't rebound the ball enough at a higher clip.
You want to see more?
I want to see more rebounding, but that's almost there.
Okay.
And all they got to do is give me one go-to move. It don't got to be a three-point shot. Maybe it's a baby hook. Maybe it's something that if I give you the ball down low, you can hit a dead spot jumper. You can give me, or if he reaches the level of passing, because I think he's a very, very good passer. Given the right system, I think he'd be a guy you can facilitate through. Okay. If he hits those two, I would give him a superstar. I think he's right under a star right now.
A superstar, to me, is the top X player in the league.
What is that number?
But it varies.
Yeah.
Some years it could be 10,
to me,
12,
it's got to be
15.
more than 30 because there are teams that do have two superstars.
See, I don't think it's more than 30.
You don't.
If you're talking superstar,
you're still talking top 6%.
I think it's top 15 player in the league. Mike, where do you?
Top 30.
Wow. Okay, then my definition was just different.
Well,
Stars is different than superstars.
Right.
This
That's
came
exactly
from
it.
UJ yesterday.
That's
I could
exactly
rip
it.
off 20 names right now, and I think you'd be hard pressed to tell me that of the 20 that no one in there is not a superstar.
Are you talking about all? Like, there's 24 All-Stars, right?
There's 15 All NBA guys. I feel like if you're in the All NBA conversation,
So what about the guys that were just left off? Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
Well, but he's in the conversation.
But he's made an All NBA team. That's why I'm saying top 15, maybe top 20, but no more than that.
Well,
that's
if
just
you
that's
use
just
that
for
strict
me.
definition,
That's just
then
for
nobody
me.
has two superstars.
Lakers, Celtics.
I don't know. There's only 15. You're going to tell me that between the other teams in the league, 11 players is all you got?
I mean, LeBron and Davis are both top 15 guys in the league. Tatum and
Brown.
Probably top 15 guys in the league.
I think
Even
when
if you
put
want to
them together, they become a tandem of superstars.
You could take it to 30, and I still wouldn't put Evan Mobley in that class.
That's
Not
very
yet.
possible.
Not yet. Now, he has the potential to be there. Yeah. But the question is right now, do the Cavs right now have two? And nobody's been higher on Mobley than I have, but I can't put him in the top 25, top 30 of the league. He's just not there yet.
No.
He's going to sign a max contract before October. That's going to happen.
Sure.
I mean, Franz Wagner got a max deal, which is insane.
You know what? I like him a lot.
I don't like him as a max. There is no way he's a
well,
max
I don't know
player.
that I like him as a max, but I mean,
but where these
teams
contracts
get into
are,
these situations where they're between a rock and a hard place. Look what the Cavs did with Darius.
Well, that's it. Like, the Cavs are going to have 3 max players here next year.
Right.
If this thing stays intact, Darius, Donovan, and Evan are all going to be on max deals starting next year.
How many max players are there in the league?
A lot more than what are worth it. Because you're going to see that more and more. And that was one of the conversations I was having in Vegas. I was like, this is nuts. Franz Wagner is not a max player. And the rebuttal was, wait until you see where these salaries are going in 2 and 3 years. It's going to look like a deal.
Well, I've read things that they're saying that these deals are going to double.
It's insane.
I don't know how.
Well, they're tied to the percentage of the salary cap. So as the salary cap goes up, the max deals go up. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you've seen some of these projected numbers for
Donovan Mitchell is going to be eligible for a $380 million extension.
Let that sink in for a second.
Yeah. And Jalen Brunson's going to be eligible for a $417 million extension.
We talked on text.
My goodness.
I ran the numbers about like when there'll be $100 million annual deals. It's coming. Where these guys are going to make
5
$100
years
million a year. By the end of the decade, I think. Yeah, by the end of the decade.
6.
Well, it's tied.
Hey, G, hold on. Only because we have a guest come up in 3. We got to run through the last couple. We spent
Okay.
a little too much time on the card show off the top, so we're going to get to the next one. Can the Cavs get stops when needed? Yes or no?
I'm a yes.
Jay says yes.
See, I will say yes, but we don't know because everything's changing defensively. So, but they have the defensive personnel to do it, but is the scheme going to be the same? Because JB was such a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah, that's a great unknown.
That's a fair answer.
Yeah, that's good.
And for the sake of this, we're going to take it and move on. Do they have multiple versatile wings? G, I'll let you go on this one.
I'm gonna tell you this. I saw something the other night that I kind of like, and I'm gonna say yeah.
I'm going to say I don't think they have one.
I don't either.
Multiple.
Can we have one?
Hey,
I would argue we have 0.
Yeah, I don't think we do. I think that's clearly our need, and that's the missing link from this team being
G,
a
why do you
real
say
contender.
yes?
because I like what I see out of Jalen Tyson. I think he has a. I think he got a.
In the summer league.
Hey, listen, he got a grown man type game. Like I just watched him, the way he move on the court, he's more physical.
I hope you're right.
He do 3 or 4 things. Like he shot the ball pretty well. He can facilitate, and it didn't look like it was too big for him. Like all of the young wings that they got, time will tell what they look like with Kenny Atkinson and what they can do. But I like the draft pick. Like I told McNuggets the other day, I would think about giving him serious minutes. Like I'm not playing. Like he's.
We're going to talk
the
more
deal.
about Tyson in the TV show because his game last night was summer league taken consideration, but a very impressive 21 point, 11 rebound, 9 rebound performance. So the Cavs have multiple shot creators.
Yeah.
Jason, what say you?
Yeah, I
They
think
got
they do.
those.
I count Darius and Donovan both
I
as,
do too.
as shot creators.
Even
right
though I
there
don't
off the
want
rip.
at the end of the game, I don't want that to be Darius. I want it to be Donovan. But I've seen enough throughout his time in the NBA to know that he can make his own
I mean,
offense.
Caris LeVert can get his own shot. Caris LeVert can get a shot when he want to. Like, yeah.
There are levels to this, but if the question is, are there multiple shot creators? Yes.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Like this exercise ultimately leads us to what?
We got one more, and then
Okay.
I'll tell you where this
Oh,
goes.
okay.
I
My bad.
see Wayne chiming in 1 sec. And last
Okay.
but not least, and this was a G. Bush submission. You need an elite offensive head coach. It may be too early to give a definitive yes or no, but from what you know about Kenny Atkinson, would you give him a
I don't think
yes
he's
or no on this
I
one?
don't think we can say he's elite offensive. I think he is an offensive-minded head coach, but we don't know enough to say that he's elite. Elite is a special word.
Right, which is why I'm saying I'm going both on this.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We just don't have enough information.
I'll tell you in February.
I'm on the fence. But here, if you just want to go in the Cavs schedule, is he an elite offensive coordinator compared to JB? Sure, he is.
So if it's an upgrade,
If it's,
at
is
that
it an
position,
upgrade? Yes.
Yeah.
To me, it's an
I feel
upgrade.
but again, we don't know.
But what you're gaining on offense, how much are you losing on defense?
There's the
There's a
thing.
scale to this.
It's,
There
it's,
is.
it's the old math equation. Is what you gain more than what you lose? And we're going to find out.
So that means out of an 18 possible yeses, the Cavs meet that requirement.
Yeah.
We gave them 11 out of 18
Okay.
in total. So that is above the 50% threshold, which means by this exercise, the Cavs have the requisite DNA to compete for a championship.
I don't know. 11, 18 isn't.
It's funny. Like, so if you took a look at 11 of 18, like a championship team having 18, let's just say. Like if you asked this question to 3 Celtics observers, and they said, yes, they have all 5 of those, and everybody agreed on the panel, that would be a perfect score. What I say about 11 of 18 is, isn't that about where they are in the league? That's a little better than 50%
Yeah.
would be you've got 9,
Yeah.
10, and then 11.
That's
So
probably
it's
fair.
like you're a playoff team, but you're not making a run, and that's exactly where they are.